Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I want to check out Disney's latest live action on Cruella De Vil, Cruella. Hello there, my name is Alexander and this is the Italian Screenwriter. I watched Cruella on Disney Plus and it was a fun movie, a quite enjoyable experience. I was fascinated on how an antagonist such as Cruella was transformed into a good character, from a despicable one to one you empathize with. So, let's drive right into the woods and check out how to turn an evil antagonist into a hero. Cruella, a mix between Joker and The Devil Wears Prada, is the latest entry in the culture of villain revisionism, where old stories are retold from an antagonist point of view, like in Maleficent.
It's so very kind of you to invite me this evening.
This culture is part of a broader way of writing that seems to have taken the screenwriting world by storm in the last couple of years. Villains are more deeply explored, they are more nuanced, they are given a backstory and generally a complete transformational arc and change, the same kind of attention in the writing phase the hero usually receives. A couple of good examples are the character arc we live and witness with the ultimate villain of Game of Thrones, Cersei, and the backstory and empathy given to Gabby in Toy Story 4.
I'm Gabby, and I love you.
But how did screenwriters Dana Fox and Tony McNamara turn Cruella De Vil, a character so evil and depraved that is named after the devil itself and caused trauma in our childhood because of her obsession to kill puppies to wear their fur as a coat, and make her journey far more heroic than horrendous?
I'm Cruella. Born brilliant. Born bad.
The original Cruella was merely an entertaining, creepy villain with the desire to be clothed in the fur of baby dogs as her main character trait. In order to transform her into a hero for this movie, the writers had to work and show her backstory. Contrary to popular belief, the backstory of a character isn't their history or biography. It's a set of significant events that occurred in the character's past that the writer can use to build the character's story progression. In this sense, the backstory that is shown and written is deeply linked to the Cruella we see in 1961 101 Dalmatians.
My only true love, darling. I live for furs. I worship furs.
In a character's backstory, most of the time, a concept that is applied is what Sid Field describes as the circle of being. A traumatic incident or event that occurs to the main character when they are between the ages of 9 and 18. This event affects the entire course of a character's life and impacts their storyline. This event results in a deep emotional scar and impacts their behavior, creating a well-rounded portrait of the character that evokes emotions, thoughts, and feelings that expand and deepen their characterization. Usually, the circle of being of a character isn't shown in the story but remains in the background, as we see in Thelma and Louise. The screenplay doesn't explicitly mention that Louise was raped when she was growing up. It's only insinuated once or twice, and it impacts the physical, mental, and emotional behavior of Louise throughout the movie.
Know what else?
What?
That guy was hurting me. If you hadn't come out when you did, he would have hurt me a lot worse. And probably nothing would have happened to him, because everybody did see me dancing with him all night. They would have made out like I'd asked for it. My life would have been ruined a whole lot worse than it is now. At least now I'm having some fun.
In Cruella, the circle of being is, in Disney fashion, the death of her mother. This story takes a step further by showing her circle of being. She not only witnesses her mother's death around the age of 10, but firmly believes that she is the cause of it, causing in her deep grief and pain. Because of this, we root for her as we see her fight to overcome her grief, pursue her dreams, and make her mother proud.
Everything's going so well, Mum. We're really trying to be the Estella that you wanted, mostly. It's working. I just wish you were here to see it.
This is the first step taken to make the audience feel empathy towards such a cruel villain. But this is not enough to make us root for a character that caused us a trauma when we first meet her in 101 Dalmatians. She is also given a save the cat moment when she saves an abandoned dog, later called Buddy, from a dumpster. The save the cat moment, theorized by Blake Snyder, is a quick scene that happens during the setup of the film where the main character does something incredibly good that defines their personality and makes us feel sympathy towards them. Something like saving a cat, or in this case, rescuing a dog.
I made it to London after all. Regent's Park. But no tea.
It's all my fault, Buddy.
No mum.
I never should have gone in.
I was an orphan.
But this isn't everything. The protagonist has different roles and characteristics. She is a rebel and an outcast, rejected by society because misunderstood. The midpoint is a no turning back point, not only for the protagonist but for the audience as well. When she finds out that she isn't the cause of her mother's death, she becomes the victim of injustice. And because our daily lives don't allow dangerous satisfactions such as revenge, when characters take us beyond our mortal reach, they fuel our empathy towards them because we devour our non-permitted satisfactions through their stories. She is also an underdog. If we test the strength of the protagonist against the forces of all negative powers ultimately represented by the antagonist of the movie, the Baroness, we see that the forces of antagonism virtually overwhelm her, and she is clearly an underdog. She has a chance of achieving her object of desire, but just that, one single chance. All these characteristics and roles given to Cruella give her an empathic nature. We feel her as the positive value of the fictional world, as the center of good, in contrast against the dark and evil negative value of the story, represented by the antagonist. The audience attaches their empathy to her because we human beings in our heart feel we are overall good or right, so we naturally identify with the perception of the positive, which in this case is Cruella.
I went a bit mad. I'm sorry. You're my family. All I have.
She used a family card.
Yeah, she did.
But for a movie to work, this isn't enough. The next step is taking this hero with an empathic nature and give them a proper story that allows their characteristics to shine and be felt by the audience. Many articles say this is a rags to riches kind of story. Although it does have some principles from the rags to riches kind of stories, further analysis show that the story given to Cruella is the fool's triumphant kind of story. And this kind of story gives the possibility of a more proper arc to the character of Cruella. To better understand the main principles of the fool's triumphant story, the film Joker comes to help, as it is the same kind of story. Both have a fool as a hero who is clueless of their own powers, overall innocent, gentle, and an easy target for the villain who underestimates their power. Both have an establishment that our foolish hero stumbles upon that seems too strong to defeat, and they obviously do not fit. Both have a transmutation the fool undergoes, which implies a new persona born in the process, and a name change. The main difference between these two films is the type of hero Arthur and Cruella are. While Joker is a society fool, Cruella is a fish out of water kind of fool. She finds herself in a world she does not belong, but where her multiple capabilities and skills ultimately have a new impact.
You know, I kept staring at you at the party, and then it came to me. That's Estella from school.
It's not Estella. That's the past. I'm Cruella.
Through the creation of a multi-layered main character and a proper story to suit her and give her a compelling and appropriate story is how the screenwriters transformed a cruel and despicable villain into an empathic hero we can root for.
You know, killing her is not going to make that go away.
I won't. I promise.
All right, cool, groovy.
Unless I really, really have to.
That is my take on Cruella, on how an evil character such as Cruella was transformed into a hero. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment with your opinion. Every form of support is highly appreciated. That is all for today, and hope to see you soon.